This land is mine. God gave this land to me. This great and ancient land to me. And when the
Now when the pen hits the pad, things start happening. Major freak of nature, all pro data for splattering. My chatterers, patterns, and sees what I greed. In excess of trees, a lavish home is all I need. Oh, the so exquisite, prolific gent is here to present my testament in all closed circuit events. Respect the essence and build on my landfill. I'm so ill, like the film Time to Kill, real to real service for clarity.
Peace, everybody. Here we come. Another episode of Visual Caffeine. Very special episode. We got the crowd pleaser, one of the members of the legendary group, the Artifacts, a dope MC, man. I don't know why he doesn't come up on these so-called lists all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like those lists anyway because there's so many dope MCs, but you stand alone. We was listening to some of your tracks today just to brush up. And me and my wife was like, yo, he got such a distinct style, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about.
So, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. And look,
no
I'll take anything I could get. You know, I see all those lists too, and everybody's lists always change. Their favorite. I mean, it's always be your top five is your top five.
Word. It could be snowing out and you have a different view of who's the best MC. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't matter. Yo, but let's get started. Like your video, Wrong Side of the Tracks, actually inspired me to do this show, Visual Caffeine.
Wow.
With the graph, and you know, it was so dope. It just blew my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to get that out there. What did you start doing first? Were you a writer first, or did you MC, or was it a combination of both? Like,
I would say I was a b-boy first.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got into hip hop. I mean, I heard the same records everybody else heard growing up, but I gravitated toward the b-boy. Being a b-boy first, I got into graffiti after that. I saw Style Wars, I fell in love with it. And from there, you know, the only thing I couldn't do, what my father wasn't letting me do, was to go out there and write on the walls like everybody else.
Yeah.
But I honed my skill the way I could. And I got into MCing like 15, 16.
Word.
And once me and Tame met, you know, after doing a few demos of my own and his as well, we formed this group that only went to do a whole bunch of things afterward.
Word. I mean, yo, people still listening to the first album and bugging out. I mean, I got a question that we've been trying to, you know, figure out. Who's the one that got the sample Ninth Creation? Who was the one that heard that album and was like, yo, the bubblegum, and was like, we got to use that. Like, who found that sample?
Well, me and Tame, we always used to rock off that, and we always wanted to use it, even if we knew other people used the sample too. So one day we at Chi Ray house and we brought that up, and he pulled the record out, and we was like, look, we know Chubb Rock used it, Third Bass, Entice, everybody. So we was like, look, we just gonna flip it a little bit. We took the drums, flipped the drums a little bit, and once we found the horn, the Jack Bruce horn, that was a wrap. But the Ninth Creation, you know, P Rock used it too, but he only used the end. But you know, we didn't really care. We loved that record that much that we was like, you know, willing to do that, and it worked. It worked.
Hey,
and it's like Guru said, rap is an art. You don't own no loops. That's how you hook it up.
That's right. You just put the artifacts on it. That's all. You put your own on it.
Put our own little spice.
I got a fat ass can of the flat black.
Yo, about to go make this pass.
That's right now, kid. I got some ism in my pocket. No
pass on me in the section.
All up and down.
Watch 5-0. Watch 5-0.
Fuck that.
Niggas ain't getting caught, you know what I'm saying? Yo, pass that pilot, man. Pass that pilot, yo.
I'm I'm out to bomb like Vietnam under the same name, Tame One. The bad one, ink flow master bastard with the magnum. I tags up quick and then I steps to the exit when it's time to get sefted. Or flex on some fresh shit, some whack crook. So my black book, I know who took it. I know it's so tagged because the fag writes his name crooked. The ink I use might stink, but you gotta think I got my props hops cause my tags don't shrink. I'm tagging and bagging bitches cause my name is famous in the street. Cause they know my name's from cruising in the Jeeps. So yo, grab a can and put your man up and stand up for the fresh, never stale niggas off the third rail. Deep dark and black like the Magnum I pack. It's that artifacts chat from the wrong side of the track.
The artifacts from the wrong side of the tracks. The artifacts from the wrong side. The artifacts from the wrong side of the tracks. The artifacts from the wrong side.
I load my backpack with spray paint and markers to spark the tagging up a trip. I catch the path, take a trip to the train yard to think back when I used to write that shit that used to hit. Had all the mad color tips. Breaking was my thing, I used to spin the back. I never thought I'd spin the wax with tracks to make your hands clap. I could've went the other way, but no how. I got my dap on the map with the big down to a spray cap. Niggas used to doubt my clout, but now I turn them out. They shout my shit about town like they wanna be down. Avoid the crowds that wanna stab me in the back. Enough of that. Watch the third rail track, cause I don't wanna get zapped. Pieces to burn to show my name, no shame. Don't wanna put the blame down on my nicotine. Brothers don't wanna see me grow to get my cash flow. I have the remorse, so check me out in the source.
The artifacts from the wrong side of the tracks. The artifacts from the wrong side. The artifacts from the wrong side of the tracks. The artifacts from the wrong side. The artifacts from the wrong side of the tracks. The artifacts from the wrong side.
All right. So speaking of Jersey, I mean, there's so many MCs that come out of Jersey. Why don't you think that it's like mentioned with like New York as much, or do you consider it they combined over the years?
Well, as far as Jersey goes, it always been like that for us. You know, that's why when we came out, a lot of people thought me and Tame was from New York until they saw the video. They saw the video, they saw Newark Police, they saw New Jersey Transit, and people couldn't believe it. They're like, yo, y'all sound like that coming from there. But it's not as say, you know, nobody else that came from Jersey. You know, it was just the fact that me and Tame had an influence from New York so heavy. And you see the graffiti and we were taken in by New York, so to say, by Stretch and Bobbito. That just, you know, that alone made people think we was from New York. But like Jersey always been the outside borough. We call it, we the sixth borough. You know, and then you got Staten Island over there who almost feel like the same way we do. So, you know, when we came out, we go on stage. We did all of those shows in New York, Demararas, Wetlands. We never say where we was from until we was done. Because we knew not to say it when we got on stage. We instantly get booed because we from Jersey. And we, you know, we always told people we could see our city from where we stand at in some parts of Jersey. So we were only right there. But I think with the music, that kind of bridged the gap because as far as the sound that me and Tame had and what's already been of Jersey coming out, they just couldn't fathom that we sound anything like that. So that was like a big stereotype too, coming from Jersey.
I mean, you know, hip hop, I mean, you've traveled farther than I have. I've gone to the West Coast and I've known hip hop is hip hop.
Right.
I'm saying it's really drawn out of poverty and a need to express yourself. So that's everywhere. You know,
even when you listen to West Coast hip hop, you can hear, you know, I remember my son when NWA movie came out, he asked me, like, you know, when I told him to pay attention to all the music that they were listening to in the background, all the EPMD, all the East Coast music, Airbnb and Rakim. I said, you got to understand, they had no identity. So everything that they heard was from us. But until they took it upon themselves to say, let's make our own sound. And that became G-Funk, you know, that funk shit out in LA and Cali, it became the West Coast staple. So, but when you hear that, you also know that in LA is Alcoholics. You have Metaphor, a lot of MED, you got a lot of, you know, Dilated, a lot of different hip hop when you look at the West Coast.
Yeah, Lupac was dope. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Lupac, Madlib, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of people from there where you wouldn't think that Cali hip hop sounded like that.
Right. It's even like with writing. I saw a thing on Instagram the other day of the Japanese cats are writing in their language. You know what I'm saying? Like they just taking it and putting their spin on it now, and that's what you need to do with hip hop. Like y'all took that sample and flipped it the way you did. That's what hip hop is all about. And people, I think, have not forgotten, but maybe put that in the back of their head.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially with lyrics. Like, I mean, your lyrics, and like, you know, I'm good friends with John Robinson.
Okay. Yeah. JR.
I've been trying to get you on for a long time. He used to host this show.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the artwork on their first the Ankh on their first single.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay. I know you're talking about.
They grew up around my house, and you know.
Yeah, they're from New Brunswick, right?
Yeah. So I've known him forever, and like he gave me an appreciation more for lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Lyrics is so essential to hip hop that I don't understand. You know, it's obviously company ruled now, and that's why they dumbed it down so much. But you know, what do you feel is the importance of lyrics, and why you craft them so well and craft them so deep in the metaphors and all of that? What drives you to do that?
Well, for me, it always been to be different. You know, not to be like the next MC or copy a style. I always say, you know, it's like RZA. You know, he said it too. Master your own style.
Yeah.
And as you can see, RZA style like nobody else's when you look at his production. So I felt like even what I'm doing is trying to captivate the listener to understand when they listen to my music, it's not going to be regular.
Right.
It's going to be very action packed. I feel like there's a lot of other people out there to do the, you know, conscious music, or so to say, you know, topical music.
Mm-hmm.
Where with me, I always tell everybody, and I'm gonna tell you the same thing. Doing my songs is like watching action movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're going into when you watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And next week, this weekend, you know what you're gonna go to see when you watch John Wick. You're not going in to see romance.
Right.
You're going there to see bullets flying, glass breaking, people getting shot up, arms busted up. So it's like with my music, you're gonna expect bass lines, nice, you know, eclectic sounds, drums, you know, thick bass lines and snares, crazy, all the ingredients to make you at least sit down, to where it's now my job to take you on a journey, whether it's 2 verses or 3, to make you say at the end of the song, that was only him. I can only hear him either on that beat or sound like this on his song. You know, it's not to be, I don't want to be boring. You know, you only got 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 4.5 minutes to get this person to at least like this song enough to want to buy it.
Right. I want to put some shine on that album XL with you and Sadat X.
Okay.
That joint is hot.
Yeah. It's going down. You ain't used to no like this right now. Yeah. XL. What it is, y'all. XL. Come on. We do the same old flames. Jargon is alarming, most harmful when obtained. Uncut and unchained. Framework, stain shirts, bloody up your wardrobe. Aim first, brain burst, study up for more flow. All in all, still brawling, words powerful. Most shocking and rocking your palate like a sourdough. All manual, loaded and digital, we futuristic. Shooter through computers, known to risk it. Dig it, we physically body up your entourage. Fill cigars, hard bars, blue collar job. Sensei, Dotty boy, bang noise. Shotty up your party like gangs and coke boys. Still got it, we marvelous. We like first class seating, you a charter bus. L-sub icons when the mic is on. Stripes earn, slight burn, kill it when we writing songs. All set it off, lyrics on call. XL, Sensei, Dotty off the wall. Everybody charge, turn it up, get involved. Get it, XL, give it up, it is off the wall. All set it off, lyrics on call. XL, Sensei, Dotty off the wall. Come on, everybody charge, turn it up, get involved. XL, give it up, it is off the wall. Lord Jamar said lift up your skirt lift. Now everybody and they mama's a fucking expert. Ran up in your ex, it hurt. Everybody look big in a medium shirt. Me and L, we ain't email. Nope, we sat here together, y'all can feel it. Y'all hear that soul? Maybe get a coin and dodge the code. Take it to Europe, find a lane. We could probably leave the States to these young boys. They run around with Molly. I can f with Al. His passport good. He legal in the so we can jump out the hood. Radio DJs give a handshake. Come on. This real news, y'all scared to break. These dudes know they hitting us well. Give us that, not the beat you couldn't sell. Ball set it off. Lyrics on call. XL, Sensei, Dotty off the wall. Everybody charge, turn it up, get involved. XL, give it up, it's off the wall. Ball set it off. Lyrics on call. XL, Sensei, Dotty off the wall. Come on. Everybody charge, turn it up, get involved.
time survivors in this wilderness that sound adapt to new things. We timeless, breaks we kinda rock. Me and X live vocals in the same spot. Same booth, strange fruit still remain hot.
Every day on the body, something on hell. You two loose grams and screaming cartel. Get into a fight and throw bombs. You animal. We can't say it gotta be removed.
Each translation, birth and creation. Act like it, slang editorial for stations. We got that shit that rappers relish on like skipping college. We pro league, all city flows in the
Me
pocket.
and L done created a buzz. It's growing. Collect from all y'all. That's Owen. The mind blowing. I keep the blind knowing. You keep the nine showing. Straight to the rec yard. You will respect God.
Ball set it off. Lyrics on call. XL, Sensei, daddy off the wall. Everybody charged, turned up, get involved. XL, give it up, it's off the wall. Ball set it off. Lyrics on call. XL, Sensei, daddy off the wall. Come on. Everybody charged, turned up, get involved. XL, give it up, it's off the wall. Yeah. Jersey, New York.
Where did you and Tame meet? And Chaos, where did you guys meet? Did you guys go to school together?
Nah, I met Tame through a few of my friends, my man Jay Byrne and my boy Polo Ice. I went to school with Jay, and Jay happened to know Tame. Pretty much, he sent me to my man Rhino to go do some work with him. Jay Byrne, me and him was in a group, and he knew I wanted to record. He figured sending me to Rhino's crib. I started doing demos with him, and then I always knew a Tame only by graffiti, seeing his everywhere, just like, who the hell is this Tame dude? So one day I went to Rhino's crib, maybe my third or fourth time there, and I started seeing Tame's name on the walls around, and I'm like, oh, he be over here? And, you know, Rhino said, yeah, he rapped too. So he played me one of his songs. I was like, oh shit, he sounded good. So every time I went there, he never was there. And one day he came when I was there, and we met, and we chilled out, you know, had the same kind of interest in music. And he started, Rhino started playing some beats, and maybe not that day, but the next time we came back, we had did a song, then we kept doing songs, and one thing led to another. And we just, you know, became That's Them. That's what the name of our group was before that, before Artifacts. But Chaos, you know, we met him in maybe like 89, 90, and downtown Newark, in Military Park, not too far from the Robert Treat Hotel. They used to have contests every summer. Like people in the neighborhood would audition, try out, and it would, you know, they would have opening acts. And, you know, this one time, me and Tame did it before. I did it by myself when I was younger. This year we saw this group up there, and it was good. But we would walk into the stage, and then we heard the DJ. DJ was scratching his ass. So we like, damn. So by the time we got to the stage, Chaos was playing Gangstar Manifest. And then he puts on the other one. He started juggling. We looking at him like, damn, who is this little dark-skinned dude doing them fucking tricks? And he was nice. And we walked up to them and spoke to all of them. But for some reason, you know, we gravitated toward Chaos. You know, we got all their numbers, but I call Chaos all the time. You know, like even when we got our deal, and you know, I would call him, play him songs on the phone that we was recording until I went over his house. And he became my friend through a lot of means, as far as people he knew. DJ Mr. Lynn, and me and Mr. Lynn was working with these people down the street from him and Chaos house. I don't know if you remember this dude named Antex. We was working with him. He's from Queens. And one thing led to another, and I started hanging with Chaos a lot more. And Chaos became our DJ after Rock Raider, who was DJing for us at the time on the first album. He went and got serious and started, you know, we wanted to do the DMC battle. So he got into that, and that's when we had to find another DJ. And I told Tame, like, we might as well get that dude Chaos. And Chaos, you know, was already our friend. And I'm like, what you doing? He was like, what's up? We was in Texas. We called him on the phone. And it was like, yo, what you doing right now? He's like, nothing. Like, I ain't talking about like right now, today. I was like, what are you doing as far as like music? You still DJing for your boys and them? He's like, not really, no. I said, so now what are you doing? He said, so what are you talking about? I said, what are you doing though? What you want to do? He's like, yeah, damn it, you want to be in the group? And he was like, yeah. So like, you know, we instantly became like a Run DMC, even with putting Chaos on the cover. You know, it was more or less he wasn't just a DJ we hired. He
Right, gotcha.
became a member of the group. Like we got
Right.
pictures of him on the cover, inside, on the back, and even with doing stage work, we gave Chaos his shine to do all his tricks and juggles and behind the back everything until he was gone.
That's what's
And
up.
that was what we felt like was for him, you know, because
Right.
we would do our show and step back and let him do his thing, and that's what we felt the DJ was. And as far as him being in the group, that was what we were supposed to do.
Or because a lot of cats forgot about the DJ. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
and
never did that with
that's an element of hip hop that you can't forget about. I mean, you know.
Yeah, he liked the drummer.
Yeah, exactly. Word. That's dope. Yeah. Today's Tame One's birthday, ain't it?
Yes, indeed. That's the
Rest
big
in
reason
peace.
why I
Rest in
wanted to
power.
have the interview on this day.
Yeah, exactly. I pay respects to both of you. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't just say one, it's both of you in my
Right,
eyes. But, you know, peace to his family, to your family, you know, because I know you use family as artifacts, and also chaos, you know, peace to you guys. And I know I'll get in trouble. Kufu, that's one of my boys. West Coast.
Yeah.
He, you know, that's why I wore this. So, you know, it's easy here too. I talk to them all the time. I know them from the Zulus. I was down with Zulu
Yes,
for a
indeed.
long time.
Cooper was a good dude. Good
Yeah,
dude.
that's my brother too. And I want to make sure I shout him out as well.
Peace. What up? What up? This one half of the Artifacts, Elder Sensei. Right now, you are checking out Visual Caffeine TV, y'all. Peace, Elder Sensei. One.
Where it's I was watching the videos you got on YouTube. Do you like making music videos? Like who comes up with the concepts? Do you work with a lot of directors, or you know, do you have an idea as soon as the song comes out your dome that it's going to be a video?
Unfortunately, a lot of songs we don't know going to be videos because we got to pay for these videos now. So like,
Yeah.
I can fortunately, like the one we did, me and Tame and Chaos, the Everyday on the Street video.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, we had really no concept. Only maybe the parts when we was inside the alleyway, and in the back, we kind of knew where we wanted to go, but we just did it on the fly. You know, Come Over to Get Down and Wrong Side was kind of like different. Being on that label, we were hired, had a hired director that knew what he was doing. You know, nowadays it's like guerrilla style renegade, go out there and just shoot, but not a lot of times we do that either. So a lot of the videos we try to take time and doing what we're doing, because the one thing you don't want to do is just look like you're just running outside with a camera.
Yeah, but sometimes those are the best ones though, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. True. But black and white always works as well.
Yeah.
So like you take a video of me and John Robinson and Jake Palumbo, and I kind of put it up on my page the other day. This song called Bring It In Loud. You know, now that one, even though we didn't have a plan, we knew we were just in that big warehouse and we had to just perform. But it was more or less the director knew the place and he had it lit up, and everything we was asking him to do, you know, like you said, for us doing what we were doing in that room until we watched it and it looked like that, we was like, oh, okay, wow, this really looked like a movie. You know what I'm saying? So like that makes a difference too when people see the quality. You know, just because we underground don't mean it got to be so much like that either. So you give yourself a chance, because a lot of these channels like MTV Jams and BET, you know, these things won't play a video unless they look a certain way, at least quality wise.
Right. You know, the video music media, you know, the company media, they don't know exactly what hip hop's all about. You know,
it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah, that's why I do a lot of my, you know, I probably could have been hired places and I'm like, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been behind the scenes and you see directors telling people, you know, be more African when somebody graduated for African dance from college and stuff like that, and it's some German guy, and like, you know, they're not there to tell the story, they're there to make $1. So
right.
I can tell you that the videos that you do that are guerrilla style, those are the best ones, because that's what hip hop is guerrilla.
Now, like I got one with my man Momar Nadam. We shot one, and he came from Pittsburgh. Him and my man Tamal from Carrying the Culture. They came here for a video, and I told him me and my man was going to shoot it. And I told my boy what we was going to do. We had a plan. We scouted everything out. You know, we got all the stuff we needed, lights and everything, and we recorded in the daytime. The video came out really good. My man edited for me. My man Sam Kratz in England. He edited it, but Jamal was surprised that we had all of the places, the locations we wanted to go, how long we were going to stay there, the light as far as what we was doing. And he said, yo, you know what? He said, for you to be an artist, and me and Joker, he's an artist too. We don't shoot videos, but we knew what we were doing for our shooting, what we were shooting, and having my man fix it with the edits. You would have never thought me and my man shot this video by the way it looked.
Right.
But it was just the point of being serious about it. Even if we're not so professional, we knew not to, mess it up so much where, it looks like we didn't know what we were doing.
Right. One of my favorite videos that I've seen of yours is when you were in that where they make the records, the vinyls.
Yeah, the year video,
That was
right?
dope. That was dope.
When we got in there, I had no idea that place existed. We walked in, I was like, damn, what's this? I started seeing vinyl. I'm like, oh, this is where they make the records out here? So I asked my man, like, how did you know about this place? He said, yo, I've worked with them before, but like, I thought it was dope. But what was funny was when we were shooting, when you look at the guys that was in there, when they was like, yo, we don't even know who this dude is. Everybody was working like it was no problem. But the one dude, when I handed him the record, he was in there trying not to bop it after we did that scene. I was like, yo, you can move around if you want to. You ain't gotta stay all stiff. He said, yo, and he's Italian straight. Like, yo, bro, I didn't know what to do. I see you walking around here.
He's probably happy he didn't have to talk to his coworkers that day.
They was like, they still had to work though. So we did everything around them.
Let me tell you, that was a dope concept. It really was.
It reminded me of EPMD video, but we just wasn't in the sewer. We was in that record place.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Word. So you tour a lot, obviously. Do you like going overseas? Is like, has hip hop treated you better overseas or here in the U.S.?
It's been better over there, especially through the years, over the years. The only thing slowed it down was like COVID a couple of years ago. So I go over there every year, maybe sometimes twice a year. So it's people use the word appreciate a lot when you talk about going over there. Yeah. And it's not that anymore. They love it just like we do. They do it like we do. Before when we was going out there in the early 90s, late 90s, it was like how it is with sports now. Mm-hmm. We were so far ahead of the European game and dream team slamming on everybody doing it now. Like European basketball caught up to us, young donkeys, all these dudes playing ball. The hip hop game is the same way, where instead of them asking us to come over there to do a lot of work with them, these people learn to, like we said earlier, adapt and do their own thing. Mm-hmm. But they have like their own shows, own festivals. There's a lot of people that get into them, but at home is nothing like what they do out there. Nothing like it. The promoters are serious. They book you, they pay you, they take care of you. They respect you. That's the biggest thing. They have a lot of respect for, our type of artists, my caliber and older, they understand that it's like, to a lot of these people, they wouldn't have these opportunities like they had in the past. A lot more artists go overseas more now than in the 90s and early 2000s. And that's because that, they once they all get a whiff of what it's like out there, you get to go back. As long as you have a good show, you get to go back. But it's dope, and it's sad that we got to go over there to do a lot of the stuff we like to do. And you see people at home, y'all doing that show over here. Y'all doing like, unless they're going to be serious like them dudes, it ain't going to never happen like that over here.
Yeah. That happened with rock and roll. It happened with a lot of music. It seems that they appreciate it more overseas, or love it more overseas.
And that's what everybody, Miles Davis, Bird, everybody, like every artist, once you get to a certain age, and because, they follow us over there, you'd be surprised, people, it made me laugh. People think that because the people can't speak English, they might not know. Right. Just because they speak another language don't mean they don't know.
No. I've seen footage of like Public Enemy in Chile and Cypress Hill and all that, and they know. Yeah. In Poland, they know.
They don't even speak English, bro, and they know the words. Right. I don't know how they know the words to the song. I remember we was in Paris. This dude was singing Crowd Pleaser. He was right with me. Ooh. And it kind of threw me off because I'm looking at him and his mouth moving, but I saw my voice coming out of his mouth, and it kind of threw me off. And I was watching him now. and I was slipping up, and he like maybe 2 words. He looked at me like, and I lost it. He kept going, and he got me back on.
You
As
know,
soon as the
that's
show was over,
crazy.
I got off the stage. I signed all everybody's stuff. I came to him and I said, thank you, because you saved me right there on that part, but it freaked me out to see my voice coming out your mouth. And he was like, oh, he was French. He's like, oh, my English is bad. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you was just word for word with me on that song. And his man started interpreting for it. He's like, yeah, he knows the music, but he don't know how to speak English. I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Nuts. Yeah, the writing scene, like b-boy writing scene overseas is crazy.
Oh, that's
Like,
sick.
I mean,
You know,
imagine when we was growing up that we had Montana and all those like super thick paint and all
Yeah.
the markers. We had to make our own markers and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And-
they look, see out there what they do, you
Mhm.
know, when they have all these graffiti shops and stores and they teach this out there. Like it's not looked at like a bad thing to do
Right.
graffiti. Over there since we've been going in '95, it's just been graffiti. Germany, every
Yeah.
club we ever went to, everywhere we went, me and AG was like, damn, it's like graffiti everywhere. It's no matter where you look, it's on something. It's everywhere. Worse than here when it was like bad. So
Word.
and it's encouraged over there. So you
Yeah.
got a lot of the clubs is bombed up. Now it's a little nicer with like murals and stuff like that. But that is the city just be done.
Yeah. And Brazil too. Brazil got a nice crew of like 3D artists, like
Yeah.
Ernie used to do. They do a lot of that complicated 3D and like Dame and stuff. I really I like seeing that. It brings me back. You know what I'm saying? I wish it was out here too, but what can we do?
Nothing. Keep it on shirts like they want us to and sell and make some money.
Word up.
That's what they doing.
As a matter of fact, you guys have Artifacts gear. Can you tell people where they're at? We'll give you, we'll put it on the credits and everything, but where can they get Artifacts gear? Because I know you have hats, shirts,
Yeah, they can follow if you follow me on Instagram, you can that's mostly where everybody comes to get the merch. I got a merch page as well, but I encourage everybody to, hit me on here. I'm sorry, on IG because you can talk to me, you see all the stuff. I update the merch every week just to let people know what I got left. I take the merch with me on the road, do pop-ups, even when I do my shows, I sell the merch. Thanks to my man Bobby out Knockout Screen Printing out in California and New Jersey Ink Shop out in Long Branch, New Jersey.
Right.
These dudes helped me do this merch for a few years now. Shout out to my man Vinny from Naughty by Nature. He gave me the plug for New Jersey Ink Shop. And it's good to have this around me because I remember when I had other people working and it always wasn't working out. So this has been for a while. So I appreciate them for helping me.
That's what's up. Yeah, we need to help each other. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real hard with the, people just think because you may be on the internet or on TV or recording albums and stuff that you're loaded. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You don't realize you got to pay bills, you got to recoup all of that. People don't pay you, blah, blah, blah. So buying merchandise that's yours is necessary.
Yeah, and
hip-hop.
it's something for everybody else to have as well. I had a dream one show, me and Tame, I just had a dream with everybody in the crowd had some sort of Artifact merch on, whether it was a hat, t-shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie, whatever. And when I woke up, I was like, oh yeah, we got to make that happen.
We head in the class and scribble to early dismissal. Unworldly initials, not earthly and certainly official. Glass of wine tip, sip with the connoisseur. The kind of raw and censor what you robbing for. Lady come along, save song to rock to. Non-violent, thug-free, alcohol's got you. It's all ingredients, fundamental achievements. Power moves needed by contractual agreements. We supreme, two leading roles in the scene. Camera time shared, opportunities for green. Lean, put the muscle on. Headlock the game, squeeze when the trouble's warm. We get the hustle strong. Never bid in my time sweet. Rhymes meet the standard for approval and rhyme deep. Design heat. That's a crave like criminal gunplay. Never spit it one way. No lyrics, the fun's paid. Y'all think we can't do it big, major breakthrough. Headline star time you relate to. Always on page 8, phrase all day. Stadiums to hallways, we laid it out, it ain't a man.
breakthrough. Sold outdoors, shit we gotta make new.
Next airbound festivals, the fairgrounds, we rather live spare rounds. This is our shit sound. South Park, you trying to drag me to hell? What's the worst that can happen? Get smart, or I'll put you on the world with the art. A blood diamond, death wish rhyming. I see you, deep cover, wouldn't wanna be you. The road to position, impossible mission. I'm Fight Club, Full Metal Jacket in this racket. You dumber and dumber, it's a Kill Bill summer. American History X, I'm Hannibal, Hamburger Hill, what's next? Star Wars special effects, you flatline. I'm Bronx Tale, you sniffing on the globe by design. Once upon a time in Mexico, by the Mexico, a game of Street Fighter. Nigga, give me back my lighter. I'm Hellboy, you tell boy how high. Platoon, change the lane soon, maybe December.
Y'all think we can do it big, major breakthrough? Headline, star time, you relate to?
Always, always, a phrase all day. Stadiums to hallways, we laid it out, it ain't a maze.
Y'all think we can do it big, major breakthrough? Sold outdoors, shit we gotta make new.
The next airbound festivals, the fairgrounds, we rather live spare rounds. This is our shit sounds.
I kind of caliber matters to thugs and backpackers, DJs and diggers to rap geeks, online hackers, ladies of the night and niggas who fight when they can't hold it, liquor hashtag what a night. So like the sundown, we in the booth institute, what confused now, and no rules allowed. Proud serving and deserving applause. Rounds at the bar, sounds world renowned for the cause.
Dudes, I got 'em, women leave 'em soggy bottom. The gym made my sex stronger, I last longer. Career boosting, we clear use and lift off. Teens to grannies get sprinkled, 21 a wrinkle. The doc man is equal opportunity. I'm about unity, love and loyalty. No man is royalty, we can all get got. Kennedy was shot and even Martin took a slug.
Y'all think we can do it big, major breakthrough? Headline, star time, you relate to?
Always and all pays, a phrase all day. Stadiums to hallways, we laid it out, it ain't a maze.
Y'all think we can do it big, major breakthrough? Sold outdoors, shit we gotta make new.
The next airbound festivals, the fairgrounds, we rather live spare rounds. This is our shit sounds.
To bring it back to the artifact, man, you guys were so dope together. Did you bounce off each other? Like, did you go like in the booth and you wrote a rhyme and then Tim was like, "Ah, you motherfucker," you know, and then he went in there and did his again? Like, did you guys battle each other, or was it more harmony? Or
it was more chemistry than anything. You know, I think that because one thing me and Tame never did, we never did that. Like, we never went one go in the booth, come out, like we were right together.
what?
And I'll tell you, like, say Flex with the Tech. We came in the studio and T-Ray was playing that beat, and it was all the bass line, everything was there except for certain little elements. But we walked in, he was doing the drums, and the first thing we said was like, "Yo, who is that for? Like, what's that?" He said, "Hey man, y'all want it? It's yours." Like, oh shit, word that easy. So, you know, we sat down and we had just came from Uptown. All we did, put the weed on the table, put the blunts on the table. I started rolling, he started rolling, and we just started writing.
That's what's up.
Even maybe sometimes I think this day, because we were so amped up about the beat, this day we probably was asking like, "All right, what you got?" But it was not like get up and go in the booth and say it. It was like, "What you got?" Every time it was like what we, you know, before we went in there, it was like, "I mean, here what you got." All right, cool. And then we'd feed off each other, but we would wait to go in the booth to do anything song wise, like to say, finalize, this is what we're gonna say. All right, cool. We happy with that. And then, you know, we would knock it out. I would say we encouraged each other to, you know, it was maybe subliminal competition, where it's like, because we hearing what each other's saying. For me, it was like I always had to be on my toes, because I always knew whatever he was writing was gonna be dope. I already chalked that up. So it was pretty much me, you know, in the early stages, you know, keeping up with him. Where to say maybe, you know, I wasn't so sure maybe either what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it. But throughout doing the album, I got my confidence up a little bit more. And you know, and that's just having the jitters of knowing that when you put this record out, everybody gonna hear it. So that was pretty much the mind state we had going into the studio every time we did a song, was everybody's gonna hear this.
Word. Yeah, I love the whole process of being in. You know, I was lucky that a friend of mine had a, you know, in Pertambo, he had a studio in his back, and we would just sit there all day and all night. Like wouldn't eat, you know, just looking for samples. You know, going on the drums, I'd be drawing. It was so creative. You know what I'm saying? It was just dope. You know, you feel that energy of each other. You bounce off of each other. My letters ain't as good as your letters, or you want to do it, put more arrows in it, and you got to study that.
But see, that's what's dope about teamwork is when you doing something, one may be good at something than the other, and then the other one might be better at something than the other. But then that's I mean, when I say the chemistry that we had, because whether if he was into the metaphors more than me and I was into the technical part,
Right.
it made up for what one didn't have, and we just had it together. Even to a point, even when we split up, we were still able to go about our own. And especially for me, you know, going solo, I had to find myself and what I wanted to be as a solo artist until I got the hang of it. And once I
Right.
got through a couple of singles, a couple of, you know, side deals here and there, doing a few albums. I mean, singles again, it was just more like, okay, now let's start doing these albums. And that's where Relax, Relate, and Release came from, and The Unusual. But it was always making this music, whether if I was with Tame or not. I had to always make sure that that music sounded somewhere close to what Artifact music sounded like, if not the same, but in the vein of it, but even better.
Word. So I noticed you work with a lot of talent. You know what I'm saying? Like different people. You have no problem with that. Tell people what's the process of that? Like, do they send you beats, or do you see them on YouTube or here, or do you contact each other, or is it just, you know, how's the process of that going? Because you've worked with AG, I mean, a whole bunch of Sadat X. I mean, I can't even name them all. Like, you definitely keep busy, you know.
Well, a lot of that comes from people emailing me, and as far as like, and this is the part where I'm blessed that I have these people calling me to do features, but I know it's also because of what the features I've done prior to that sound like. So I always tell people I look at myself like Deadpool. You know, Deadpool, a mercenary for hire.
Right.
And you know, only thing with his job, he's gonna be a little bit more funny with it and be creative and imaginative with how he kill people and just, you know, joke around. Where
Right.
me, I gotta come in and be the serious one where it's like, in order for me to eat and eat in this way, and this is sidebar from any shows I'm booking or anything like that. That is a big part of what makes everything go, is doing
Right.
these features. You know, doing features are like doing movies. You be an actor, you have leading actors, you have supporting actor
Right.
roles, you have the support, the extra, you know, and you have that, what's the character actor. Everybody know the motherfucker, but you don't know his name. But
Right.
he be in every damn movie. What's that dude name again? I see him all the
Right.
time, all the movies. So it's like, you know, it's always like that, you know,
Right.
and that's just because of the way I rhyme too. I know where my lane is at, you know. So in this lane, you know, people know me as Elder Sensei, where they also know as Elder Sensei from Artifacts. So all my prior work leads to this. And then even with me and Tame have been doing new music throughout the years, even to making this new album, people gonna judge you off your last record.
Right.
So if my last feature, and this is why I be mindful to put up all these features on my Instagram page, because a lot of these dudes that we do records and songs with, they already think that, you know, we don't care. You know, when it comes to doing these records with them, some of these people think they just, you know, we doing it for a check. But when they see me posting up the videos I've shot,
Right.
or if I say I want to shoot a video with them and they see me posting it, sharing it, you know, helping promote it, you know, that helps me just as much as it helped them. So
Right.
why
Right.
wouldn't I do it? But when dudes see that, they like, damn, okay, he might just do his. And I'm like, yo, every time you getting a feature from me is all new bars. I'm writing new verses every time. So
Right.
nobody's getting nothing the same. It's an original piece all the time.
So one last question, and then I'll let you go. I appreciate you coming through and all that.
But nah, thanks for having me, man.
this may be a corny question, but where do you see hip hop in the next 10, 20 years, man?
10, 20 years. Ooh.
Yeah, or longer. Like,
I'm gonna be old. My son don't do it, so he can't carry on that tradition.
uh-huh.
But he's a valid listener and he knows what's going on. So
Right.
even if he sold merch, he's gonna carry on Artifact's name forever.
That's what's
But
up.
I would say, I would hope that 20 years from now,
Mhm.
you know, it's happening slowly but surely. You know, shout to Coach Contra. You know, groups like that. It's I've seen a few other people even following their steps of you know, understanding that the bridge and the gap between our generations right now,
Mhm.
where it's like it's taking a little bit longer, but a lot of things has happened over the few years with COVID going on and verses that happened. The Jadakiss verses with Dipset and Locks had to happen for people to understand that the hip hop that we was doing, that we know, that we love, these young dudes today can't change that.
Right.
Just as much as for our elders, we can't change what the 70s music was. We can't change what the 80s music was.
Right.
But from 1988, when you have this year of 88, I always say that had like Kane and Biz and BDP, all this stuff was here at a height.
Mhm.
Whereas like where the Melly Mel and all them had to pay attention to that. Just like when we got to the 90s,
Right.
you have us and Black Moon and Smith and Wesson and Helter Skelter and all the Cellar
Right.
Dwellers, all that underground, everything
Uh-huh.
from all the radio stations, Stretch and Bob, that era came.
Yep.
You had the 90s, late 90s, everybody making money. 2000, everybody making more money.
Right. Yeah.
More it got, and then to where it was a ceiling.
Yeah.
Then now we at this age, this digital age, where it's now. But think about it like this.
Mhm.
This might sound funny, but think about it like this.
Mhm.
Jurassic Park.
Mhm.
When I can't remember if it was Dominion or the Jurassic, one of them world ones, but they had that new dinosaur that they had made. It was like a hybrid mixed with all this other different stuff.
Mhm.
It was impossible to stop him. He could
Right.
disappear, camouflage himself, do all this stuff. Straight new breed.
Right.
But by the end of the movie, what did they have to do? They went back and brought out the OG Tyrannosaurus Rex to fight him, but it took the other guy to help fight. It took the monster in the water to help take him down, take him in the water. But I'm saying that all to say, you at this digital age right now, even though it's digital,
Mhm.
you have all of these artists, older artists walking around, the old dinosaurs walking around with the new breed.
Right.
And it's hard for the digital new guys to get rid of us because we from this time that
Right.
already happened, but still working.
Right.
DJs older, still working. You look at Jazzy Jeff, you look at, you know, a lot of Grandmaster Flash, you know, I just seen Grandmaster Cass a week or so ago. That's my friend now. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
we grew up, you know, idolizing these dudes.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
To where
Cass is a dope
this is what
dude.
has to happen again
Mhm.
with our generation, with this
Yeah.
generation now.
Right.
But because we working around them, it's not like so much when we came up and then say Melly Mel and all of them start working.
Right.
Where it was like, you know, when a change comes, just I remember when Houdini had the Unsung. They said when all of that Big Daddy Kane and KRS and all that shit started coming,
Right.
they was like, yo, they had to adapt a little bit and start making their
Right.
songs that, like even Run DMC, we watched them go through a phase where
Yep.
they were who they were, Run DMC, but they had to be still on the avenue.
Yeah.
You know
When,
what I'm
when
saying?
they came out, they started wearing earrings and the
Exactly. Yeah.
jackets and
See.
stuff. Yeah. I remember that. I was like, what the
Yeah.
hell happened here,
They
man?
had to do the beat down with
Yep.
the King videos. And look, and what did they do? They did it right.
Mm-hmm.
Even they had Pete Rock do the beat, CO get on the
Yep.
song, and when you watch the video, everybody's in the video with them, celebrating them. This generation, we haven't done that yet.
Right.
Because it's too much this competition,
Right.
too much podcast, too much talking of things that happened before, that's not happening now. That's old news that some people still know about, but it's the fascination of I need to hear about it today. And now all these old feelings come back, and you got all
Yeah,
these dudes are all mad again.
I know
But
everybody
but it's like
arguing now.
nobody. We got to all sit down and figure this out and come to an agreement
Exactly.
to say hip hop is the most important thing we got to take care of, and beefing with each other ain't gonna solve shit.
Right. You got everybody got arguing about whether it's really the 50th anniversary and stuff. And,
Yeah, like
a lot of that comes from us not telling our story, from
right.
people like us, where you come on and tell me your story and answer questions so we know where you was coming from, not from where somebody translates your thoughts.
Yeah.
Saying, and that's important. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me tell you this. When I was with the Lost Tribes in New Jersey, we did a thing for kids at NJIT. These were like 12, 13-year-old kids. And we played them break beats. I did a little piece on the wall with a marker and stuff. And we were playing break beats, and their jaws dropped. They were like, "Oh, what's that? What's that?
Mhm.
Who made that?" And we told them that's from the 70s. And then, I was walking around the crowd, and this little girl pulled me aside, and she goes, "When's the new Tribe Called Quest album coming out?" I was like, I almost kissed her, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what? But we were passing it on. And that
Yeah.
tells you that the real hip hop is still out there. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And
They
as long
hearing this stuff from their brothers and sisters, maybe older
exactly,
uncles and stuff. I do
exactly.
shows all the time, B, and they all come to me, yo. My uncle told me to come to the show to come see you because he told me and he played me some stuff
Word,
before I came here. So I'm like, or they come with their uncle and they old enough to come in the club. So they like, yo, I had to bring them down here. And they come with the uncle come with a stack of records, and the nephew's like, who the fuck, why, what is going on? And they trying to, but when they see the show, and after the fact, they like, yo, I have no idea who you was, but I'm a fan now. And they
word,
only get brought there because they want them to see.
word. Yo, and on that note, I really appreciate this, brother. I can't thank you enough. Rest in peace to your brother, Tame One and Chaos, and everybody else, Chugo, you know what I'm saying? But, thank you for everything you've done for hip hop. Thank you for what you've done for New Jersey, the writing scene, MCing, all your albums. And I really appreciate it. If no one else does, I really appreciate it. And just, keep doing that hip hop shit. You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt, man. Hey, I
Yeah.
truly salute you. I appreciate you. As
Word.
long as you feel that way, that does it for me. That's why I keep doing what I'm doing. And as long as you approve, that gives me energy.
Word, I feel you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it again. Can you tell people where to catch your stuff? We'll put it on down beneath and in the credits. But can you tell people how to reach you?
No doubt. So yeah, y'all can go to my Instagram page, LEL_DA_SENSEI. Don't think about I got a whole other page that got hacked, and that's Sensei from NJ. Forget that one. L the Sensei, EL_DA_SENSEI. And everything is there. And you see me, you can talk to me, chat with me. You want to order anything, just hit me up in the DM, look at what I got up there, and we good from there.
Word. And this is evidence that he does talk back to people that hit him up.
Word up. Yes, I did. Yeah.
This is evidence. So he ain't talking no smack, Word. So thank you again, brother.